Well, it started, I guess, 15 years ago. I was an actor in New York City. Um, I was doing a lot of TV, a lot of voiceover work. I was on a cartoon series. I did Law and Order, Sopranos, Third Watch, all that stuff. And just as my career was taking off, I booked this huge job for Federal Express, where I worked with Steve Carell. So the Federal Express job was a huge job, and I started getting pilot auditions, started getting movie stuff. But just as that started to happen, I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. And then pretty quickly, around 2008, 2009, I started to lose all the jobs that I had. One of the most powerful moments for me was when I finally had to tell my children why Daddy was home all the time now. And I told my then 8-year-old daughter, I said, one of my daughters was 12, one was 8. And I told her, and the 12-year-old sort of understood. She kind of knew what was going on. The 8-year-old seemingly didn't really know what was happening, and she sort of went back up to her room, and she was like, okay, and she kind of disappeared up to her room. And then she came back down a couple hours later and said, Daddy, you don't need to get a job to help pay the bills around here. And that'll just absolutely murder you. That'll kill you. So around this time, my wife started going to this new church, and I had been raised Catholic, and I went to Catholic school for grammar school, high school, and college, and but I never really had a relationship with Jesus, and my faith really didn't really mean anything to me. So I started making films for the church, which was weird because I didn't know about, Catholic church, you don't know about making films for a church. I don't know what that means. We started making films for church, and then they invited me to this creative arts conference out in Chicago. And I thought, this is going to be craziness. Because the creative arts director was like, oh, it'll be great, there'll be like 8,000 people. And I'm like, 8,000 crazy, screaming Christians? That's going to be nuts. It's going to be so much fun. So I took my video camera to sort of hide behind. And the very first moments of the conference were the David Crowder band, and this guy comes out with this big like Billy Goat beard and like weird hair and stuff, and he starts playing, and I was completely overcome. I just started to cry, and I really felt like Jesus was talking to me and saying, this is what you're supposed to be doing now. Making these faith-based films, helps me feel, practically gives me something to do, but also, spiritually, it really feeds my soul.